Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, grab your remote, maybe settle onto the couch, and just prepare to abandon all your plans because today we're diving deep into a concept I think pretty much everyone gets, the always watch film.
Yeah, this deep dive is a bit different. It's built entirely around a really personal list. Comes from an editor-in-chief sharing the films he just cannot turn off.
Right.
No matter where they are when he stumbles across them. It's just a fascinating look at cinematic comfort food, really, distilled right down to the most potent, rewatchable stuff. So our mission today is to get past just the list itself. We want to understand the psychology behind these choices, pull out the surprising facts, maybe some genre-defining moments that you might overlook, and just figure out what makes these films stick. What's the magic combo of star power and, well, knowing exactly what's going to happen.
Right. And if we start by sort of defining the criteria here, the always watch film isn't necessarily about, top-tier quality or awards. The main thing, familiarity. They have to be easy to recognize, no surprises, and actually that's their strength. Crucially, they almost function like cinematic background noise. You can tune in anytime, you instantly get the vibe, you know where the plot's heading, even if you missed the first, say, 45 minutes. The author even says the ending is totally beside the point. The enjoyment is just being there, the familiar journey, the trip itself.
Okay, let's unpack this. And we really have to start where the author warned us to. Romantic comedies. He kind of admits it's dangerous ground, but Notting Hill, the one from 1999, it makes his definitive cut. It's that classic high-concept rom-com, right? Boy meets girl, except the girl is, the biggest movie star on the planet. We all know the drill. They meet, there's a big misunderstanding, they break up, and then, that mad dash to the finish line. Predictable.
But what's interesting is why this one holds up as comfort viewing when, let's be honest, a lot of rom-coms just feel dated really quickly.
Yeah.
It's the strength of the scaffolding around it. The observation in the source is that the ensemble cast, that amazing group of mostly British actors in the supporting roles and the quality of the writing, just lift it way above the average stuff.
But hang on, Julia Roberts, she was arguably the biggest film star in the world then. Usually a star that huge just dominates everything, right? Sucks up all the oxygen. How did Notting Hill manage that balance, keep that comfort feel without her just taking over?
That's the clever bit, isn't it? The source notes this specifically. The writer allows her character to be just one part of this bigger, quirkier world. The editor points out she does not hog the screen. And when you want that reliable kind of dip in and out comfort watch, you need that solid, consistent ensemble. It guarantees every scene, even if the main stars aren't in it, feels familiar, funny, comforting.
Right, makes sense. Okay, speaking of films that just feel consistently great, let's shift gears a bit. From personal comfort picks to the ones that basically defined whole genres and, frankly, changed how Hollywood does business. We got to talk Jaws, 1975.
Yeah, the author sees it as not just, a great scary movie, but the first modern blockbuster. Killer shark, Amity Island, summer tourist season. You know the story.
And here's where you get that surprising insight. It's an absolute masterclass in suspense, yeah. But partly because of technical problems. That famous mechanical shark, Bruce, apparently was super temperamental, kept breaking down during the shoot in Massachusetts.
Exactly. So that technical issue basically forced Spielberg's hand. He had to keep the monster hidden. Result, the shark isn't really seen until, over halfway through the film?
Yeah, a total production nightmare, but it turned into this brilliant artistic choice, built incredible tension, agonizing, really.
And those scenes on the boat, right? Just Richard Dreyfuss, Roy Scheider, and Robert Shaw.
Yeah.
Wow. Pure drama. But the real deep dive here, the thing the source emphasizes, is the economic impact. Jaws was the film that first showed the studios the massive untapped potential of the summer tentpole release. Okay, that term tentpole, it's huge now.
Yeah.
But the source makes this big leap connecting Jaws directly to stuff like Transformers 3. How does a, relatively low-budget 70s horror flick set the stage for these massive 21st century franchise machines?
It's all about the release pattern. Before Jaws, big films usually rolled out slowly, city by city. Jaws pioneered the wide, nationwide release, opening everywhere at once, and crucially, backed by synchronized, expensive TV advertising. Merchandising, too. It was the first time a studio really understood you could drop a huge spectacle everywhere simultaneously, turn it into an instant, unavoidable cultural event.
Okay.
And that formula. Wide release, saturation marketing, relying heavily on stuff beyond the box office. That's exactly the blueprint films like Transformers still use today. Wow. Okay, yeah, that is genre defining. And if Jaws created the summer blueprint, then maybe Die Hard from 1989 gave us the action film template, the one that really dominated the decade after.
Oh, totally. It's amazing how much that single film did.
Mm.
It absolutely made Bruce Willis a major star. And it really set the tone for action movies in the 90s, kind of like how the Jason Bourne films later reset action choreography in that gritty feel.
Yeah, I remember reading the details about its rating were interesting. It got an 18 certificate here in the UK, R-rated in the US, loads of violence, swearing.
Bombs aplenty,
Yeah.
as the source notes.
Right. And making over $100 million showed Hollywood there was this huge, hungry audience for harder-edged action. It really pushed the boundaries of what a blockbuster could be.
And let's not skip over those crucial, maybe surprising facts. Yes, okay, it's a Christmas film, set on Christmas Eve, let it snow over the credits, all that.
The eternal debate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the really lasting cinematic thing it created, Alan Rickman as Hans Gruber.
Ah, yes. The villain. That performance really set the standard for the sophisticated bad guy, didn't it? Why did that specific performance lead to so many British actors getting cast as villains in Hollywood blockbusters afterwards?
Because Rickman gave the villain intellectual menace. Before Gruber, action villains were often just, big tough guys, muscle.
Mm-hmm.
Gruber was witty, impeccably dressed, and importantly, verbally sharp, precise. So casting a British actor immediately created this kind of cultural shorthand, right? The refined, maybe slightly condescending cerebral enemy versus the rough around the edges American working class hero, John McClane.
Gotcha.
It's an instantly recognizable dramatic setup, reliable. And Hollywood's been using it ever since, basically.
Okay, so that covers influence definition.
Yeah.
What about just pure, repeatable fun? When we swap genre history for just, relentless entertainment, let's talk Airplane from 1980, which the author calls quite possibly the funniest film ever made. High praise.
Well, it demands repeat viewing, doesn't it? Just because of the sheer density of jokes. People often say it's got like a joke per second. And what's impressive, the source notes, it's aged incredibly well. Probably because the humor is mostly absurdist and character-based, not tied too much to, specific pop culture references that fade.
And we see that career thing again, like with Willis. Airplane. Totally rebooted Leslie Nielsen's career, didn't it? Gave him this whole new path as a comedy actor after decades of serious roles.
Absolutely. A complete second act.
And launched so many catchphrases, including, the classic, "Surely you cannot be serious."
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. Right? Now, okay, here's where the list takes a really sharp turn. How do we jump from non-stop, pure comedy to something genuinely dark, kind of tense? Let's look at Event Horizon, 1997.
Yeah, this one mixes horror and sci-fi.
Yeah.
And the author calls it one of the best haunted house-style films, only it's set in deep space. Okay, I get why a rom-com or a musical is a comfort watch. But a really creepy, atmospheric horror film, why would that, predictable dread land on an always watch list? Seems counterintuitive.
Well, familiarity in horror is maybe a different kind of comfort. Event Horizon delivers this really immersive, visceral atmosphere. You know the jump scares are coming, right?
Yeah.
You know the look of it is deeply unsettling. But that predictability, the excellent sound design, the direction lets you enjoy the dread, maybe, without being genuinely shocked or, emotionally drained every time. It's a reliable delivery system for that specific kind of high-concept, stylized horror.
The premise itself is killer, too. This ship, the Event Horizon, vanishes on a mission near Neptune, basically. Then 7 years later, poof, it reappears. Just drifting, no crew.
Yeah, great hook. And with actors like Lawrence Fishburne, Sam Neill, Jason Isaacs, the atmosphere is just intense. It really nails its high-concept idea, makes that dark, reliable visual spectacle perfect for repeat viewing, strangely enough.
Okay, let's pull ourselves out of that dark corner of space. Let's look at films that work just by delivering pure spectacle or, feel-good vibes. Never mind the intellectual heavy lifting. Which brings us to Legally Blonde from 2001.
Yeah, the source material is pretty funny about this one. The plot will never trouble you intellectually. That's definitely not the point here.
Yeah.
The mission is just pure, empowering charm. It was a massive star turn for Reese Witherspoon, obviously, and it proved it had legs, right? Spun off a sequel, a super successful stage musical.
And just the cultural takeaway alone probably earns it a spot. That totally memorable phrase, bend and snap.
Exactly.
It's just pure, recognizable, feel-good fun. Requires zero brain power. Perfect comfort viewing.
Okay, shifting sharply again.
Right.
From that kind of intellectual comfort leap to pure physical action. The Transporter, 2002. Written and produced by Luc Besson, the French action guy.
Right. These films, they deliver exactly what you expect, don't they? Inventive, fast action scenes. They're not complicated conceptually. It's the consistency of the physical stuff that makes it a comfort watch.
Absolutely. The films are totally anchored by Jason Statham. He's just ideal for that lead role. His whole persona in this film, minimal chat, Physical precision, always competent, that becomes the comfort element.
Yeah.
You know exactly the kind of creative, hard-hitting action sequence you're going to get.
And speaking of creative action, the author flags one specific bit, a memorable detail that kind of justifies its place on the list. The scene where Statham fights a load of guys while sliding around on a big oil slick.
Oh, yeah.
It's simple physical genius.
Yeah.
And it's all built around his reliable, stoic persona.
Nailed it.
Okay, finally, we get to the end of the list with what might be the ultimate cinematic comfort blanket, a real classic, Singin' in the Rain from 1952.
Yeah, described in the source as easily the best musical ever committed to film, which is quite a statement.
It is.
But what gives it that always watch weight isn't just the incredible dancing, though that's obviously amazing. It's the historical context it wraps up in the fun. It charts a film studio's move, hilariously, tumultuously, from silent movies to the arrival of sound. Talkies.
The star power is just legendary. Gene Kelly, Donald O'Connor, Debbie Reynolds. And it's got arguably one of the most iconic, most copied, but never ever bettered feel-good scenes in movie history.
That title number.
Exactly. It just instantly lifts your mood. Definitive cinematic high point.
And it's important to circle back here. While this is one person's very personal list, the common threads seem pretty universal, right?
Yeah.
The author shared this list and apparently got loads of feedback. People suggesting other classics like Top Gun, Tremors, which, interestingly, the author admits he's never even seen.
Really?
Yeah, and Empire Strikes Back, which just underlines the point. The real criteria for an always-watch film. It lives entirely and deeply with each individual viewer. So if we try and pull it all together, what's the pattern? The ultimate always-watch list, it seems, doesn't have to be critically perfect. It balances two kinds of things. On one hand, you've got these highly influential, genre-defining films like Jaws or Die Hard that actually reward a bit of analysis. On the other, pure, repeatable entertainment that asks very little of you intellectually, like Notting Hill or Legally Blonde.
And the common thread, the thing that links all of them, it's not awards or reviews. It's that instant, welcoming feeling of familiarity. They're predictable, yeah. Reliable. And fundamentally, they're just kind to your attention span. So now that we've kind of broken down the ingredients for a really successful comfort film list, whether it's that genre-defining impact, sheer joke density, or just the reliable predictability of, say, a Jason Statham fight scene, maybe it's time for you to think. What are your personal always-watch films? And what specific thing about them makes you just instantly throw away the remote when you see them pop up?
And maybe here's a final thought to chew on, something provocative. The author mentioned he absolutely cannot watch films on regular broadcast TV anymore. Why? Because of the constant distracting ads for everything from, like, cat food to online bingo. So does the sheer noise and information overload of modern life, where even streaming might get interrupted by notifications or your own urge to scroll, does that make these super familiar, easy to dip into comfort films even more valuable today? Because they offer this safe, predictable haven from all that chaos. What do you reach for when the world just feels too loud?